Blighty Boxing, in association with Frank Warren and Queensbury Promotions. We've got our first post-lockdown interview here, all socially distanced, we can assure you, all with wired mics and everything else like that, so nobody write in. We're here with Billy Allington. Now, Bill, your last fight, what are you now, by the way? What is it, 10?
I've had
10,
a funny, no, I've had 11, I've had eight wins, I've got a couple of draws and
yeah. So your last fight was actually a southern area title fight, York Hall. Seems like a long time ago, but it was this year, wasn't it?
No, it was November.
It was November.
19, yeah, it was a long old time ago.
Yeah.
It was too long ago, eh? Yeah.
What do you reckon? I mean, it was against Daniel Egbeniki. It was your first kind of show that really mattered, if you like, you know, a show with something really riding on it. What do you take from that, or looking back, what do you take from that whole experience?
I mean, I took a lot from that fight, if I'm honest with you. Listen, the decision may have not been in my favour on the night, but in hindsight, it's taught me a lot about what I can do in that ring. You know, in terms of the press conference as well, the weigh-in before, all of that, it was a new experience in terms of the pro game for me, and I love being a part of all that as well. And you know, I've done 10 rounds at the end of the day, and I've never even sparred 10 rounds before. So getting in there doing 10 rounds and I was flying at the end, you know, I wasn't even breathing heavy. I'm a fit man, and I just, you know, we had coaches put plenty of work into me. I put plenty of work in myself, and boxing's one of them. You got to perform on the night, and I performed okay, not good enough. Simple as that. You know, I had good spells, and the fight, I never felt like I come out and I'd been beaten. I come out sweet. I come out fine. I come out quite proud, if I'm honest with you as well. I had a lot of people there watching me, so
you got good reviews online.
Good reviews online. Listen, we had a good 10 rounds, and if I see Dan, you know, I'll shake his hand. He's a nice man. I like him. We were sparring March last year, and funny enough, he come down for a bit of sparring in June, but I was out of action for a little while. You know, everyone gets a few knocks and bruises in the boxing game and training, and sometimes you can't spar. So when he come down, I couldn't spar, but then 5 months later we were boxing each other and boxing for the Southern Area title, you know. So
the timing wasn't right, wasn't it? Because you can't stay as an unbeaten prospect for too long a time. Sooner or later you've got to take those sort of little,
of course you
dip
have.
your toe in at the deep end, haven't you? So in your mind, was the time right? And I say this given the knowledge, but you'd been out of the ring for a long time, you'd had some hand problems. Did you have any reservations in that respect, or was it just, no, this is the right time to do it?
Martin must have called me, I think August time, and that we was buzzing for a fight because we've been out a while, and when he said, you know, I always view things, I'll never say yes straight away, whether it's a journeyman or whoever it is. I always say, I'll have a little thing, if that's all right, just because that's just how I do things in my head. And then I was getting excited, I was getting a little buzz in my belly, and I felt good about things. So I spoke to my dad, who, you know, he said, I told him the name of the man, and he said, oh, I'll have a little look, Bill, and I'll give you a call back. He called me back within a couple of minutes. He said, Bill, it's an opportunity, mate, you got to take it. I said, sure, Dad, you reckon so? He said, yeah, and you know, I trust in his word, and I trust in my word and my coaches, and so yes, I had the injuries beforehand. Did camp go spot on? It went well. Spot on camps. Are they existent? I don't know. I was sparring the likes of Ricky Burns in it, and he put me out for a couple of weeks. He burst me eardrum because he was a tough spar. So, you know, it had to be, like you say, you know, what I could have had a little warm-up fight. Of course I could have, and I could have been a bit sharper in it, absolutely. But I think, you know, mindset, you know, of wanting to be a champion was there, and I still want to be a champion, and I will be a champion. So, yeah.
How did you
cut along with the story? Yeah.
How do you reconcile it all? Because we see it a lot. You've got loads of fighters who are, you know, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 0, maybe 12 and 0, and they think they're invincible. You all do, don't you? How do you reconcile yourself mentally to taking that first knock, the first defeat, where you realise, but you know, you're not the best on that occasion, and you've got to take that first blemish? How do you reconcile? I mean, you was all right on the night. I saw you. You know, you obviously go around, you see everyone, and put on a brave face. But how did you really take it in?
like a breath of fresh air, I suppose.
Really?
Yeah. I'm smiling now and I smile still. I mean, it takes a lot for a man to get in there for one, but for two to do 10 rounds. Of course I'm gutted. Look, I'll be lying straight to your face if I say I wasn't gutted. I was heartbroken. I want to be a champion. I've dreamed since watching wrestling growing up. Imagine lifting your belt above your head. That's so. Of course I was gutted. And it's almost like, you got that opportunity and you've you threw it down the drain, Bill. But then I say to myself, my path is still strong in my head and I know where I want to go in this sport. And to get there, you have to take these along the way, and it's all part of your journey and your story. Now, if you cry over a bit of spilt milk, you ain't going to get nowhere in boxing. It's a tough old game. So if you can't take the good with the bad, and juggle it about, then you're going nowhere anyway. So you just got to ride the wave as such and see where the next step goes. But I know one thing for sure is I've got to switch my head on a little bit more so in terms of belief when I get in there. Now I'm a positive person, I believe in myself, but I've just got to sometimes let go. I've never done 10 rounds before. Maybe I edged off the gas a little bit. I had a good second round, very good second round, and it was coming close to being a champion that early on. So I know it's in me, I know it's in there, and
declare an interest here. I've known you a long time and know you pretty well. So if anyone thinks I'm being overly critical or something, it's sort of well, there you go, because I know him anyway. So let's get down to the boil it down. I've spoken to Martin, and we look at your second round, and then we look at your 10th round in that fight, which are both very strong. How does that work? That's all wrong, isn't it? You had him in the second, you had him rocking, then you sort of meandered your way through getting your head jabbed for the next sort of 8 rounds, and then you had a strong final round. That's kind of weird, isn't it? Yeah,
I think I was coasting through maybe that second round. It relaxed me too much because I grew in confidence, and then I learned a lot. I switched off, and I wasn't, maybe emotionless in there. And that ain't good enough. I know that ain't good enough. Like I say, boxing, I say it again, it's a tough sport, and it ain't good enough to have no, you can't have a weakness. You got to get in there and you got to switch on for the whole 10 rounds. There's 30 minutes that you got to be switched on, and I was maybe switched on for 20 of it, other way round, 10 of it.
Well, Martin and your other coaches say they absolutely drilled you for this fight with what you needed to do with the instructions. They practiced it, and it absolutely drilled. But then you're not taking those, or didn't take those instructions into the ring. That age-old thing with you, Bill, moving your head for a start. You kept getting rocked back with jabs. What happens is when you work out a game plan and you're drilling it for weeks on end, and then you don't take it into the fight, is it something that takes over you when you get in there and just think, I'll do my own thing?
It's hard. Obviously it's all programmed in, and it should just come off. And maybe I didn't expect to fight him on the front foot and hold centres. I thought I was going to have to be on the back foot. He's a big, strong man. I thought, that wasn't the case in the end. So
because it was all about making him miss, wasn't it, Martin? So
that was a goal, yeah.
Draw him in, make him miss.
Yeah.
But your head wasn't really moving on the night.
No.
Well, not for 8 rounds, it wasn't.
No. Like you say, I take criticism on the chin, Rich, because it's needed in this game. And like you say, you can't be padding yourself up and patting yourself on the back every time you do something good, because there's a lot to improve on. And I just one thing I'm going to have to take and learn from it. And when I get back in that gym, once all this blows over, then I can show my coaches and the people that watch me that I have taken a lot on board, and I ain't just saying it, So yeah.
Was there a moment's consideration given to thinking, well, I've had a go, I've had a good 10-round title fight, I found my level, I'm going to call it a day? Was there a moment's consideration given to that?
Not a chance, Rich. I've been doing this since I was a little boy. Not a chance in this. From the public's point of view, it's probably easy for you to say that, but from a little boy, this has been my life. And your level is only where you see it. So people might say that's your level, but who knows? People come out.
It'll probably only be people who don't want to see you get hurt, isn't it?
Of course, yeah. No, that's it. And you know me well, Rich, and that's why you say that, because you say that from a caring perspective. So I understand your opinion. I'll give up this sport when I feel like I'm deteriorating, I haven't got the energy for it, I haven't got that get up and go for it. But at the moment, this drives my life to everything I do within it.
It's going to be the first of never then, isn't
it? It's just part of my life. I can't help it. It's one of them things, and I'm sure a lot of fighters will agree with me. Even without boxing, I still have to train now. I'm like I can't help it. It's one of them things. Go out, get up, and move my body.
What's Martin? This is Martin from the Peacock Gym, Martin Bowers. What's he said to you about the way forward? I know you were going to be on a show at Crystal Palace in April, weren't you? I think it was a Hennessy show, wasn't it, or a Channel 5 show? Obviously that went by the board, but what's the sort of the plan going forward? Well,
the plan going forward was to get back in there at the nearest date possible, but working on them things that we should have done on the night. The level of opponent, I would Martin's my manager as well, so I left in his hands. I trust in who he puts me in that ring with. He cares for his fighters as well, so he isn't just going to put me out of my league. He'll build me properly, which he has done so far. So we was going to have that 6th round, maybe an 8th round, probably 6th round because of the time slots on the cards. And then but he's even going to put me down for we're ready for that Southern area again, ready for that. Ran at English level, doesn't matter, whatever it is, and there's no man that I'm going to call out because everyone's on their same destiny and dream as well. So that's not my style at all. It's just about being the best version of who I am.
Are you open to the prospect of these cards that are coming up between now and when the public are perhaps allowed back to watch sporting events again? There's going to be a lot of British matchups made between TV fighters and fighters from elsewhere. Are you open to opportunities to take on these more celebrated TV fighters if one came up?
Of course I am. We're warriors at the end of the day, and this is what we do. And these opportunities, when they arise, if they're the right ones, there's that saying that you never know if you don't try. And that's the truth in life. You never know if you don't try. So just because they've got the backing of promotionals, and they're bigged up to be the next this and that, it's not necessarily the case on the night, because no one knows on the night. It's a fight at the end of the day, and the best of us lose and the best of us win. So if the opportunity is there and it's the right opportunity for me, and we believe in that victory, then of course I would, of course.
Tell us a little bit about your place of work. You work down at the Peacock Gym in Canning Town. Now, to boxing fans probably around the world, there's a little bit of mystique around that name. It's a very famous name. What's the secret of it? You go there more or less every day, apart from the current circumstances. Is there something in the place, something in the air that sort of makes you breathe boxing, and sort of, there's history in the air, I suppose?
Oh, that's it. It's a history. The energy of the place is great from the moment you walk in. The lovely ladies at the reception and the cafe area, they're all smiley and happy, and I think everyone smiles down there, and you don't realise what a smile can do. Everyone's just happy. Even though you're going to fight someone today, obviously tactically fight, everyone's happy. You're all friends, and then you spar. Yeah, and even the public, when they're watching you and that, there's no one I'm higher than anyone else. Everyone's on equal terms. I think that's important as well. We are doing strange things to the normality of life, fighting each other to the public, but we then still communicate with the public as normal. So I think that's a big reason as well, is no one's above no one. Everyone is on equal terms, and the place just thrives energy. It's just one of them places that's why I travel however many miles, training journeys, hour and a half journeys here, 5 days a week, because it's just that place that you feel, you grow from as a person, definitely so.
Let's talk about a couple of your teammates, because I think probably the last boxing show you went to, one of your teammates, who's had a difficult ride over since turning pro with hands and one thing and another, Sean Phillips, got himself to Southern area. He came out, I think it was Pagan Davis or Davis Pagan, I'm not sure which way round it goes, but he stormed out like a man possessed, didn't he?
Oh, he must have drilled into his, I know Sean very well, and he's very organised and structured in his head. So once he gets something in place, he gets it going and going and going. And I could see him ticking through the gym. He knew what he wanted. From the day he got that fight, he said, I'm going to go through this guy. I think it changed a few times, but whoever it was, it didn't matter. He said, I'm going to go through him. That's what he did.
Do you think that was always in the script when he just charge out the corner?
Have it.
Because the guy must have been shocked. He never got a chance to throw a punch, did he?
No. And fair play to him, It's one of them fights you didn't know what was going to happen. Sean's a very strong man. I think he broke my rib last January in sparring. He's a bit heavier than me, but still he whacks a bit. He packs a punch, and he's a fit man. And he just delivered on the night, and he delivered in good fashion. So I'm very, very pleased and happy for him, definitely.
Given the trials and tribulations that he's had, he's been a bit stop-start over the last few years. He had a draw on debut, which set him back a bit. He's had hand operation. Does it give you encouragement to see him storming like that and achieve his goal, if you like?
Absolutely. And even Martin called me the night I was on the train home, about 11 o'clock. He called me on his way home and said, I didn't get to see you, Bill, but I see you was there in the video or whatever. And he said, he called me mainly as well to say, look, he gave me that, literally what you just said. He just put down the table and said, look, that's where we're going next, and that's why you're part of a Peacock family, isn't ya? So for him to give me that, then just give me that re-energy, and then obviously this has happened, but what we're saying is your time will come. Your time does come in life, and that's why you give that champion their time. He's always said that when that champion's that champion, that's their time. Let them have that. One day I'll have it.
I won't mention the obvious ones because you train with Daniel Dubois, Denzel Bentley, but there's another little fella you train with who I think really looks the part and looks like he's about to go places, and that's little Chris Bork, who's either bantam or super bantam, one of the two. I believe you've done quite a lot of work with him. Do you see titles imminent for him? I know he's got a great amateur pedigree.
Oh, but big time. I boxed Chris in the amateurs. We were getting in the opposite corner. I actually beat him. I beat Chris. I beat him. We had a good fight at the Mayor's Cup when Boris was mayor. So a true fact, that one. When he was mayor, we boxed at All Stars Mayor Cup, and but cut a long story short, we're now teammates and on the same side, and he's a very talented fighter. He whacks and all. I'm telling you, he hits me harder than sparring middleweights, honestly, and that's true. He will go far. He's got boxing brain. He ain't stupid when he's sparring. He ain't knocking the granny out of each other. He's educated in there. When we spar together, he's educated in there, thinking. So he's definitely a talent to watch out for. Him, for
that weight.
Him and Louis Lynn. Louis Lynn's another fantastic talent.
He's a Duracell bunny, isn't he?
Oh, mate, geezers don't stop. He's a good sparrer, and all he is. So I like that's you get sparring these fighters as well.
Actually, to interrupt you there,
yeah, of course.
Louis Lynn, to me, reminds me of a kind of young Josh Warrington.
Much so, yeah.
Just all action, swarming style, just continually throwing punches. I mean, he's fit as a dog, isn't he?
Oh, he is fit. He is very much so, and he believes in himself. What you have to do as a fighter, he believes in it, and that's why every spar he has. When the Italian national team come down, like he put on a performance of a lifetime. He was all over this guy. Like he turns up and he does his job, properly. So funny you should say Josh Warren. He was in the change rooms after. He was in the change room before and after my title fight.
Yes, of course, because his teammate was.
And I had some good words. Maxie Hughes was boxing, and his coaches and that. They give me some good feedback, good advice. They watch part of the fight, and they give me some good critical but also strong feedback and that. So it was good to get some.
Right. Feedback. Finally, you being a man of perpetual motion, how have you coped with isolation, lockdown, the world changing over the last 10 weeks?
I'd like to be selfish and unselfish. So selfishly, I've embraced it quite well. I've probably stuck in a rut for the last 18 months of my life. I mean, I'm a young man and I'm chasing a dream, building my professional personal training business as well. So for me to take a little bit of time out from that continuous strain of lots of travel and that, 7 days a week in and out, doing on the go, it was quite nice. It was quite nice, if I'm honest with you, for a little while. Obviously now I'm eager to get going again. Of course I am. I've rejuvenated, or whatever the word is. That's the word. I've rejuvenated, and I'm feeling alive again. I'm feeling like my young self. Like, you know, I'm 25, but when I was 20, when I was starting out, I'm feeling that energy again. You know, maybe I lost a little bit of that the past year or so, 18 months. So for me, that is been absolutely fine, if I'm honest. Obviously, the pound notes ain't as out there as much, because obviously you can't work. What I was doing, I one, boxing, and two, the personal training with people and that. So I've had to, you know, restructure a few things to try and keep that moving. But
tell people about your personal training, because I mean, you might as well use this platform to try and drum up a bit of business, if you like, or encourage people to, or explain to people how it works, what you do, what it can do for them.
Yeah, so I mean, I usually people come to me to train to box. That's what I tracked. So I tracked anything from, you know, anything from your bank managers all the way up to, you know, I train professional athletes, dancers. You know, they come to my classes as well, up in London, and all around Surrey as well. I train, so I'm here, there, everywhere training. But you know, the energy that you can give to people is amazing, and that's one of the reasons that I do it, because I understand how good it is to work out and how you feel. So when I'm training people and they get that same, you know, you leave that half hour and they're feeling just alive again, it's just a special feeling. So anyone that's in this current time, it is a difficult time, absolutely. You know, no one knows, everyone's uncertain of what is the next thing in life, but one thing you can do, and there's no excuses, is you can take control of your health and well-being by doing that. You know, what you're eating on your plates, how you're moving your body every day. You ain't got to take much space to move. So if you haven't worked out, just give it a go. Even move, have a little walk. You know, it'll do you the wonders of good.
Now, you operate in London as well as in the Surrey area, so if anyone falls into that category and they're interested in having a go or talking to you about what might work for them, how would they get in contact with you?
So I've created my website at www.allingtonsboxing.com, so you can have a little look on there, and it has my email link, so we can get in contact that way. Or obviously on the social platforms, I have my Instagram at Billy Allington, and I have my Facebook, Billy Allington as well, professional boxing. So you can have a little look either way, and you can send me your contact details, and we can chat further, definitely. So
that's it. It's no commitments. So these people, don't be shy.
No,
just phone up and have a chat. You know,
have a chat. Absolutely. You know, as part of the job, and that's what I say to a lot of my clients. I'm not just here to train you. I'm here to try and encourage you in other manners in your lifestyle as well. Absolutely. So it'd be good to hear from you, definitely.
William, well done. Thank you very
Rich.
much, and we'll catch up when we got a bit of fight news.
Yeah, definitely. Cheers. Thank you very much.